Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Take Two. I'm super excited because today I'm joined by none other than Monica Godoy, Apex Product Manager based in beautiful Malaga, correct?
That's
I'm so
correct.
jealous. I'm so jealous. Monica, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Michelle. It's a pleasure to be here and talking with you.
Great. So Monica, one of the reasons well, there were many reasons I wanted to speak to you about, but at the upcoming K-Scope, I'm doing a presentation on forms to Apex and leveraging AI, and I know this is a particular baby of yours. You've been doing forms to Apex for many, many years and have recently been doing presentations on leveraging AI. So I wanted to make sure we got the latest and greatest scoop from you.
As you probably have seen in my slides or other presentations, we are going to have this spec-driven development capability, right? And
Mhm.
this is going to help, and as I can see, this is going to help not only the forms customers, but any customer to expedite the process of either uh, creating or writing down those requirements and converting this into an Apex application. So they already have, when it comes to the Oracle Forms customers, they already have the system. They already have those requirements. And that will be our instance for creating the application, right?
Mhm.
So one thing that probably is confusing people is that this is not going to be a tool that
Right.
we are going to deliver, right? This is not something related to the migration project that we have it before. No, this is just an approach,
A method, like a methodology,
a
something. Yeah.
methodology.
Yes.
Exactly. And even you can use this methodology, or you can use or you can use your own using Apex Lang
Yeah.
and AI to build or to convert those requirements into your application, right? This is just a way to do it. But at the end, of course, the customers or the partners are the ones that to select what will work best for them.
For them. Yeah.
Mhm. I think
Uh,
another thing that
yeah.
is not proper of Apex, but it's quite related is the MCP for Oracle database and all the skills that are now available. Because if you integrate what you are doing, your analysis with AI to extract the business requirements and also to analyze what is the business logic that you have in your database that can support those forms, you can understand, okay, so I can reuse these packages or those packages are available and I can use it, or hey, this is something that I don't need anymore because
Mhm.
it's covered by Apex, right? So you can discard that business logic. So if you can use also AI and MCP to review what you have in your database, well, it's like,
That's an excellent point, Monica, because that's one thing that we've been focused on in our analysis is the forms themselves, the forms layer, the XML, the JSON export, etc., which has a lot of information, but of course doesn't tell you it tells you a package is called, but it doesn't tell you what that package does, right? And I think that
mm,
was one of my questions for you is, okay, the forms layer tells part of the story, it tells a lot of the story, but if you've, done good design and you've offloaded a lot of your business logic to the database, then you're missing some of the story if you're just looking at the forms layer. And now when you
mhm,
combine MCP with the analysis of the XML JSON, then you've really got the full picture. You can surface
yep.
that up for your conversations with your users, about with the business, about, okay, here's the state today. What does the state look like tomorrow, and model that out. then combined with Apex Lang for your spec-driven, it's
Mhm.
a beautiful kind of
Exactly.
end-to-end workflow.
Yeah. And well, I would like to say that most of the customers have the business logic in the database side. However, that's not the reality. The majority have that business logic inside of the forms. So one important point, and this is before the modernization, is what to do with that business logic. And again, MCP can help you in that because, of course, MCP with AI, because you can say, okay, understand the business logic inside of the form, see what is valuable for me, for the business, and push that to the database, right? So then you can reuse it as it is. And at the end, it's pure SQL code,
Sure.
right? So, yes, I think MCP and AI can help, wow, enormously in all of these aspects.
Do you see people using this already? Have you actually seen customers sort of pushing, not, I don't want to say pushing the limits, but leveraging all of this combination of tools, the AI for the deep analysis, extraction of the business logic in the XML JSON, also through to combining with the MCP, or is this still today a sort of theoretical, this will be great, this is one recommended, but you haven't actually seen it in practice yet? Are you actually seeing these use cases
Yes,
in practice? You
I
have.
have seen some cases. And what is what I think people is super excited by the fact that when they can read in natural language, what is this form about? It's like, okay, we finally understand what's going on here, right? So we can make decisions based on what we have there.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have forms that nobody is using, right? But you do just, I'm not sure what, I'm not pretty sure if we should discard it or what to do, right? Because you are afraid of losing something. But when you read it and you say, ah, we deprecate this process a few years ago. We don't need it anymore. And you
Right.
feel free, you feel safe that you can discard this. So I think it can help in the decision for all of the stake for all holders, also for the business users. And when you have this in natural language, this is something that you can share with anyone,
Yeah.
with the real users, and they can say, oh yes, this is something that we are doing, or you know what, now that you are performing this modernization, this is something that we would like to enhance if it's possible, because blah blah blah,
And that's
right?
that's exactly how in this project that we're working on now. So the other thing is oftentimes with these 20 plus year forms applications, there's little to no documentation, and the people who developed them maybe years ago are no longer around. And the assumption is just it works however it works today, port that over, we just don't have it. And being able to surface that up in natural language and explain what's going on in the form, even using tools like Mermaid, building out diagrams of the process flow and using that in conversations with clients, what
Mhm.
we found is it builds that trust with the business. They feel, okay, you're able to surface up my business logic maybe in a way that I wasn't even able to do before, and have those important conversations about what, making sure everybody understands, even the new developers coming onto the project, what the business process looks like, and then iterate for what the future business process looks like. It's been complete game changer, just that natural language extraction of the code of the business logic in either, flows, documentation that explain, the exceptions, the validations. So yeah, I think the future of modernization is bright.
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So speaking of reports, that's another thing that comes up often in these projects. And so we have a little bit more clarity on the forms to Apex path. Are you seeing any of this methodology applying to reports as well? Are you in terms of the analysis, and of course, I know Apex isn't a full replacement for reports. There's a lot of things you can do with Apex, but are you seeing this AI analysis methodology and eventually MCP Apex Lang being applicable to a reports
Yeah,
migration path for
so
some, for the non, pixel perfect complex reports?
right. So when it comes to reports, you have these two types of reports.
Right.
Those that are simple plain and those that are pixel perfect,
Absolutely.
right? So for the simple plain, it's easy. You can use any component in Apex now. For example, you have the interactive reports, classic reports, or faster search or smart filters. And also, there's going to be a new capability for interactive reports, which is basically can help
Ask a
you
question.
exactly.
Yes.
You can use natural language for that. But at the end, you will need the SQL query.
Right.
And what's the challenge with the reports? That we don't have, we can get the XML version of those. Because with the FMB, you can transform this into an
Right.
XML, then AI can understand it. But what to do with the reports? You need to open it. You need to extract the SQL
Yeah.
query. Or maybe the AI can help us later and is going to be smart enough to understand the RDF. I
Right.
don't know.
I guess I was hoping you had some sort of a secret, you know, a magic
Not
solution
at
here,
this
but
moment.
that's one that comes up and that feels still like a challenge, and that we're a ways away from a sort of more of an automated workflow for those, which would be great. I really believe that Apex, the spec-driven and intent-driven development is going to be a game changer for Apex. I think it's very different from other low-code platforms.
If you compare those low code platforms with Apex, something that is really differentiating Apex is the metadata, right?
Of
Even
course.
today that we are in the AI era, everyone wants to create those applications using AI. One important thing is that the metadata, we are not building code. We are not writing down any code. This is important because we have talked about this for years, the technical dev. So what you are building today is something that you are going to be sure it will be available in the upcoming 5 or 10 years. If there's something that needs to be changed, it's going to be covered by the Apex team, right?
Hmm.
You don't need to do any changes in your application. And I think this is really important because it doesn't matter, it's not about the number of lines of code that you are writing down. It's about delivering the solutions you need. And and I think sometimes we are forgetting what is really important, right? It's not about the code anymore or the lines of code.
Yeah. So, Monica, you've been sharing on LinkedIn the Apex newsletter that's been out for a few months now. Is this your baby, or tell us a little bit. It's got lots of good information in there.
Yeah, so we released the newsletter the last year in June. Actually, it was promoted at KSCOP
Okay.
2025. And well, you can go to
Okay.
apex.oracle.com/go/newsletter. You can subscribe to get a notification when a new issue is available. So you can read all the information about Apex, the new blogs, the new live labs available. Also, you can see what's new about Apex in general. You can find all the events that
Yeah.
we are running across the board, right?
Customer
Also, and
stories. I've seen customer
yes,
stories.
success stories. And one thing about the events is not only about the events organized by Oracle. Even if you are organizing an event
Yeah.
or a webinar, you can go and submit the information.
Oh,
So,
that's good to
what's the
know.
purpose?
Okay.
The purpose of this is that everyone knows. Everyone be aware that something is happening. They can join in person or they can join online. All right. So, and you can see also the language because sometimes not everything is in English, of
Right.
course.
Right. That's why. So great. We'll make sure to share that link. It's a really great resource. Any other resource that you feel that the listeners, watchers should know about?
And the other one is the shortcuts. So we
Okay.
have apex.oracle.com/shortcuts. And this is really, really nice because it contains several links to the certification, to the training, to the even if you have a customer that wanted to see a demo of Apex, there are live demo applications, and you can pick one of them and share with your customer or show them, right? And also, we have the links to the documentation and the links to our social media channels.
Okay.
So if you don't follow Apex, this is the moment to do it, right? Because um, sometimes you are just disconnected about what's going on or what's new in Apex. And of course, if you don't use social media channels, well, the other alternative is the newsletter. It's an Apex application. You don't need to install anything. Just go to that URL and that's it.
Perfect. So if there's one URL to remember, apex.oracle.com/shortcuts, you'll have everything. Is that what I'm
Yep.
hearing? Yeah. So, Monica, I really, really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me today. I know you're extremely busy. You've got a boot camp you're running. You're leaving tomorrow. Is it to Romania?
Exactly.
So it's been great chatting, and we look forward to hearing more about the great new features coming. And thanks for joining.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for having me and see you soon. Bye.